nation strong, one guiding hand. Truth that rings in everything we do. Red, right and true. Stars and stripes, forever fly. Freedom's voice will never die. Say it proud, say it true. Welcome to Red, Right, and True. Hey!
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Red, Right, and True, where we tell you all the truth about everything all the time. And I want to introduce our podcast partners. To my left, Joe Curry.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody is well.
To my other left is Patriot Box. And on the screen is the infamous Mark White,
Good evening, everybody.
formerly of the Spin Doctors.
That's right, don't forget it.
And we will be having someone join us shortly. Gino Bisconte is going to be joining us soon. But we have a lot to discuss tonight, and we have many, many things that we're going to be talking about. And we were going to start first with, I think, the government's shutdown. You want to
Yes.
start with that?
Yes. And we got the government shutdown. They still have got the government shut down. And basically, they're shutting down the funding as of February 14th. And it's a lot of it is caused the TSA staffing crisis because the TSA is under the Department of Homeland Security. 50,000 officers are currently working without pay. This has led to high absent rates, 100 of resignations.
Almost 500 now.
Yeah.
And they owe about almost $1 billion in back pay.
Yeah, almost $1 billion, and it's resulting in long security lines. Now, folks, just as a reminder, this is happening because the Democrats refused to pass the SAVE Act, and one of the reasons they refused to pass the SAVE Act is because they want concessions on ICE. They want ICE officers to unmask themselves. They want them not to be in certain areas. They want them to go with a warrant where a lot of it's possible. And the reason why a lot of this is impossible is the Biden administration have let millions upon millions of these aliens in.
But can I just say something?
Yeah.
As far as the ICE agents go, Trump just did it again. He's just the master of knowing what to do, because they are using this as a temper tantrum, let's be honest. They don't want the SAVE Act passed, so they're shutting the government down. So what does Trump do? Because they have such a, they have such a thing about the ICE officers, they want them gone. So he says, in your face, and we're going to put them in the airport. And I think that's like the best. It's like, again, a parent being responsible. If a kid is having a temper tantrum in the grocery store, what are you going to give in? So he's a master.
Well, the Democrats, what they're actually doing, if you listen to them, they're like, we don't want any ICE agents near the polling stations. That's what they're actually doing. The other stuff doesn't matter. The only thing that they care about is that one thing. So don't think that they care about the ICE agents anywhere else. They're only concerned about the polling stations.
Right, and one of the most frustrating things is that they're holding up the vote or not passing the vote because it's all about ICE agents. And meanwhile, ICE is not affected by the funding. TSA
That's why
is.
Trump can use them.
And that's why Trump can use them. It's a brilliant strategy.
He is brilliant. I just, and then when somebody has something negative to say about Trump, I just don't want to hear it. Because the guy, after all the abuse that he's taken, what he has put up with, what his family has put up with, don't say anything negative to me about Donald Trump. And then every time they think they got him, he comes up with a better strategy to get them back. Patriot Box, what do you have to say about this?
It's not just about what they're doing to Trump. Let's remember, this is what they're doing to all of us. The Americans, who live here and pay taxes and are our citizens. The Democratic Party, how much more blatant can they be that they don't care about you? All they care about is their power and what they want. They don't like ICE, okay, they don't have to, so we'll screw up the TSA, and anyone who has to get on a flight, we'll make them wait hours because there's not enough TSA agents. We'll make the TSA agents, we won't pay them. Oh, 500 of them have already left because they are tired of living in their cars because they live paycheck to paycheck. And again, the Democrats, time and time again, are showing they don't care about America. They don't care about the American people. All they care about is their agenda, which, ironically, it never seems to benefit. It seems like, hey, let's think of the stupidest, craziest thing that's bad for us, and let's do that. And that's our platform. Oh, and by the way, Donald Trump bad.
That's all they've got.
And what you got to remember when the midterms come up is remember who sat during the State of the Union address, and remember who had to stand online waiting to take a flight out. That is the Democrats. The Democrats do not care about you. They care about their agenda. They don't, and they're marching in lockstep to that agenda, and that agenda is not for the United States. It is for illegal aliens that they're grooming to be future voters, and that is it. And they are trying with every wherewithal of their being to make sure that that happens, and they need to be pointed out, and we need to point them out as conservatives and Republicans, and we need
And
to
that's
get
why they don't want the SAVE Act passed.
They don't want the SAVE. No, they don't want the SAVE Act.
Because they want to cheat. So if it's okay, we'll bring up Asset One.
Yes,
Mark
absolutely.
White picks these
Absolutely.
videos, and then we're going to comment on what we see.
Someone on this app just said that the new American dream is to leave. And you know what? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Where are we going?
Where would you like to go? I'll help you pack. I'll even give you a ride to the airport. See, it's always you American who go through life doing this whole poor pity me, not understanding how great you have it here in one of the greatest nations in the world. There are 11.5 million pending applications of people who live every single day wishing they are a part of this great nation. 11.5 million people dream to be an American while you American are wishing to be something else. Too dumb to understand what you have in front of you until someone points it out. You have people from a third world country who are dying every single day wishing they can be here in America, but you are too naive to understand that you have something great to live with it to its full potential. They are willing to do that. Swap places. Let's get it going.
Oh, I love that. I just think that she hit the nail right on the head in that they have no idea how lucky they are to be in this country. And you know what? Especially the ones that yell Free Palestine. Why don't they go over and live in these countries that they hold flags for, that they are so like, you know, they have so much to say about how bad the USA is and how great these other countries are and how we're oppressors and they're the people that they want to go there, they want to leave. Then don't let the door hit you on the way out. Bye-bye. I mean,
Yep, I have a.
no, they'll never do it, though.
My nephew has a girlfriend, May, who I adore. May comes from the Philippines. She came to this country. She came to this country legally. She worked her way up and is now a nurse. May also has a son, very nice guy. His name is CJ. And basically, they went back to visit family back in the Philippines. And life in the Philippines is tough. And he saw firsthand, because, you know, typical teenager, he was a young guy, he's in his early 20s, you know how everything, this is not fair, and this and that, the other thing. And he went back to where she grew up and saw what life is in the Philippines, and it's not an easy life. And he came back here to the States with a new appreciation on how lucky he is that he is an American citizen and he's born here, and all the things that we are afforded that a lot of people overseas are not.
Yes, and even the poor people in this country, they all have TVs, they have free food, free medical. The poor people in other countries are actually really suffering. I mean, I'm not saying it's good to be poor.
They're happy if they get fresh drinking water, okay?
Yep.
That's a luxury to many people in the third world. Fresh drinking water, clean drinking water, all right? That's the difference, something that pours out of our taps all the time, and we don't even give it a second thought.
And talking about the theme of that, I don't know if you guys saw, I'm sure you did, the liberal plane to Cuba and the fact that they stayed in 5-star hotels. So when they do leave, they make sure that they are not, seeing the real life of what's going on in a real Cuban citizen that has no power because the government shut down their power. They don't have the money. They are living it up in a 5-star hotel, which probably run on batteries. And there's the hypocrisy of it. The hypocrisy of it. You know what? If you really want to go to Cuba, stay where the poor people are living and get a real taste of what being a socialist. They risk their lives to come to this country. They get in boats and they could drown to come to this country. And then they're the better ones because they're visiting in a 5-star hotel. Get out of here.
Well, I believe while they were there, they painted a mural and put letters of love for the people in Cuba who are basically don't have electric, are living in poverty because they've been with a communist regime for about 60 years now. And but that's the libtard solution.
Their mentality, it's like, we're going to make a letter of love. And meanwhile, people are sitting there, can I have a meal? Can I have fresh water? Can I have a car that's not from the 1950s? Can I have any of that? Could I have a dream of freedom? And then they go, oh, well, we're going to get back on the plane and go back. They're totally clueless. It's a shame what these people do.
They're rich, elitist, liberal snobs. And once again, they think they're better than us. They are really just disgusting. When I see these videos, I cringe. And that might be one of the ones. I think that's one of the ones at the end.
Yeah, we'll be playing that. Yes,
so
we're
you'll
gonna be
actually
playing that
get
at the
to
end.
see that
You
video.
have to stick around for that.
Yeah, that's coming up in the 4th one. You'll
And
get to see that.
big media supports them. Big media supports
absolutely
this.
supports them.
It's disgusting.
It is so disgusting. So we are going to return in 3 minutes. Hopefully our friend Gino Bisconti will be joining us, and we'll see you back right here on Red, Right, and True.
You've worked hard and saved, but inflation and increased money supply are eroding your buying power. Protect and grow your wealth with physical gold and silver. Sound Money. With a Sound Money wallet, your wealth stays in your control. Buy fractionally, vault securely, ship directly, and instantly liquidate your gold and silver at the highest buyback price in the industry. Real money, real ownership. Visit tafwsoundmoney.info or scan the QR code and start securing your financial future today.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
How's it going, y'all? I'm Bill Clinton. Now instead of a poke, you're getting a smack! What have I done?
Bookman, you're up.
It's ma'am. I can't just, tell you this stuff.
Hey, I got hairy legs. They turn blonde in the summer.
Because we're gonna treat you like family.
I'm pretty sure I'm a woman.
No, you're not, Steve.
Do you like camping? The entire city is your campground.
There is no law. Anything goes. It's a Diddy cruise.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
We're back. We're back.
Oh.
Patriot Box. Contain yourself.
Whoops.
No pun intended. Welcome back to
Keep
Red.
it in the box.
Yeah. Red, right, and true. Right now, we're going to discuss the Wicked Witch of the West. Who could that be? Why, that's Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York. And basically, Governor Hochul was telling people a couple of years ago that if you want to leave New York State and you don't like it, go back, scram, get lost. You know? And
Oh, yeah, that was something.
yeah, she told everybody to leave. Go, leave. If you don't like it here, get back. Just get out. And what happened was people did and eroded the tax base. And basically, she is asking people to come back. I was only kidding. I was only kidding. I want you to come back. And why? Because the need for funding. She explicitly stated she needs net high-worth individuals to return to help fund New York's generous social programs. Yeah, big giveaways. She suggested the current New York residents should visit places like Palm Beach to convince their affluent contacts to move back. What are they going to do? They're going to go there with a mask and rope in a van? Competitive pressure. The governor noted that New York is direct competition with states that have lower tax burdens for both individuals and corporations. And basically, the remarks come while Hochul is running for re-election and facing pressure from progressive Zoran Mandani, who's got all these bright ideas to spend everybody's money.
Oh, yeah,
So,
he's just something else.
as-
But I just want to introduce our friend who's on screen now, who actually lives in New York City. He lives in Harlem, am I right?
Sad.
Am I right, Gino? Gino, can you hear me?
Gino, can you hear me?
Gino is muted, so we're having trouble hearing you, Gino.
Boy, that's the first time I've ever heard that.
That better?
Oh,
Yeah, there you
yes,
go.
yes, now we hear you.
Yeah.
Welcome, Gino.
I just kept yelling a bunch of homophobic slurs while you guys were going. So I'm kidding. Yeah, I do live in East Harlem. Anyone that lives in Manhattan is getting screwed. But don't get me wrong. Like for what it's worth, as a comedian that kind of still likes being here, I enjoy watching the city burn. I'm that vindictive guy that enjoys saying, "I told you so."
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of it is, like, it's these people that like voted for this and they're surprised. Like, the people that are surprised are fun to watch. And you just talked about it. Kathy Hochul saying, "Go away now, come back." Let me ask you something. You have experience with this, Joe Curry. What do you call a woman that sits there and just sponges off a rich guy's money? Then she gets a little moody and bitchy and says, "Leave." And then she begs him to come back because she wants his money. Say it, a stupid whore.
Yes.
That's what you call a woman who behaves like that. I'd love to know a nicer word for Kathy Hochul other than dizzy bitch or stupid whore. But you could say, I just want to know, as a man, what would you call a woman who does that?
I
Who
would call-
literally begs you for money, and then when you say, "I don't think this is good for me," well, then leave. And they leave, and then it's like, I really want you to come back. I'd love to know another word other than stupid bitch and or dizzy whore.
But that's not the first time she's pulled that, Gino, with congestion pricing. Right before the elections, when the gubernatorial elections, she says, look, we need to look into congestion pricing. It looks like it might be a burden. It doesn't be a good idea. We need to research this. And you're like, you are so lying, lady. And right after the election, I bet she's going to raise it up. And sure as God made green apples, she raised it up. She's not only a lousy politician, she's a bad politician. She's a bad liar. You could see her coming from miles away. And another thing is interesting is that if you look, like, she wants us to come back. The income tax rate in New York is 10.9%. In Florida, it is 0. In South Carolina, it's 6.2%. Sales tax in New York, 8.87%. In Florida, 6%. In South Carolina,
You're convincing me to move to Florida, Joe.
6%, right? All right, pack your bags because corporate
Joe-
tax, 7.7.
Joe, if that's not bad enough, one of the things that she said that she wants to do, and Bonnie often says, well, is it going to affect me? I live in Long Island
Yeah.
in the suburbs. One of her plans is to, at at all of the train stations on Long Island to create low-cost housing. So what, basically, why don't you just say, hey, at every train station on Long Island, let's make a crack house also, all right?
What was the original price for the congestion pricing? Anybody remember what that was?
I remember that it was going to be $18, and then after she got elected, she said, "I'm only going to raise it to 12." And this is the logic of the idiot. It's like, "See, I'm saving you money. You're not saving me money."
But it was always going to be that.
What's that?
It was always going to be $9.
Yeah,
And that's a little trick. Raise the price, and then when you actually do it, lower the price, because that's the original price, because nobody could afford what they were asking for.
Well, now, there's one little trick. There's one little trick,
This gets to
people.
what Joe was saying. I don't mind you lying to me, but when they lie to me like I'm an idiot, that's the
Right,
insult.
exactly.
When they literally, I'm saving you money, and you said it perfectly, Mark. It was always going to be $9. No, it was going to be this. We lowered it to this. I'm saving you money. And if I said, "Oh, thank you," that's how dumb they think we are.
Right.
And I'll say the difference between the Red, White, and True show and the city of New York, at least you guys, unlike Kathy Hochul, have a patriotic box on your side.
Well, she does do me a favor where here's the hack, people. If you want to drive to Lower Manhattan, if you do it after 9 p.m., it goes down to just $2 and change, about $3. So when I travel through New York, I have to travel between 9 and 11 because they close the Holland Tunnel outbound also. So, I have a 2-hour window to get through New York.
And also,
We want to get to Asset 2.
oh, yes.
Asset 2, and then
yes.
we'll be right back.
I renewed my passport yesterday because I'm getting the fuck out of America. Yep, I'm getting a one-way plane ticket to go somewhere. Europe, most likely.
Oh, I have something to say about that. I watched these Instagram reels, and one of them really just broke my heart. And it was a boy that had Down syndrome, was on a train station, and he was being mugged by an illegal immigrant in Europe. They didn't specify where. Nobody was doing anything about it. And literally this kid was holding on to his money, and the guy was trying to pull the money away from him. And they said that if the Europeans try to step in, they'll get in trouble, and so they don't do anything. So to watch a special needs kid get robbed, and somebody was filming it, and they didn't step in. It's just, you know what? She's going to go to Europe. You'll fit right in, that lady on the video.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you where she wouldn't fit in. She would not fit in, let's say, Hungary or Poland, where they don't let people just show up and they try to shame them. I don't know if you know this. I'm sure Joe does because he's got all the stats. Hungary has their borders closed, so the EU basically Sopranos them, be like, well, you got to pay us €1 million a day to engage in free trade with us. They're like, I'll pay that. I would rather pay that than have our citizens murdered like a woman was in Chicago because they had to throw ICE out because they're sanctuary morons. Ooh, this is a good cigar.
Yeah. Also, that woman that got murdered got very little media attention because it doesn't fit their narrative.
Absolutely. The way I saw it on Fox, and no one else wants to talk about it. And then Patriot Box, you saw something that happened right here on Long Island.
Yeah, you mentioned that, Patriot
Well,
Box.
I
please.
heard this. This is horrible. A 5-year-old girl, I believe it was in February, it just is making the news now, was raped by a 27-year-old illegal immigrant who was babysitting her. So much to the point, I won't get it too graphic, but the child had to go to the hospital and have corrective surgery because she was brutally raped. And this was... And in addition, what happens is the mother, who is also an illegal immigrant, was hesitant to report it, again, because they're not supposed to be here. And this is the type of horrible stuff that's going on with both good and bad illegal immigrants. But the problem is they're not supposed to be here. There's a situation we have now that it should have never happened in the first place.
And the arrogance of that woman on the video, like that she wants to leave, I say go. Go if you think it's better in another country. I mean, that's the theme of the videos so far, is they take for granted how good they have it here. Right. And you know what I think is so interesting is Gino is zooming in from Harlem in Manhattan, and Mark flew away from New York and lives in Texas. And Mark, you want to tell us about how happy you are at being out of New York?
Oh my God, I am so happy. Like, right, I live in one of the most conservative counties in Texas. It's quiet at night. There's no chance of riots. Nobody's gonna be walking down our little Fifth Avenue screaming and shouting and pissed off about something. It's just the best move I ever made, and that was in 2000. I made that move.
Wow.
Yeah. So Gino, how do you feel about being in Manhattan? It does have a lot of, it's very close to all the comedy clubs, and it has a lot going on. Would you miss it if you left? Well,
it's getting to the point now. If this was 10 years ago, I would miss it a lot if I left. But now I'm lucky that I've carved out a life where I can do a lot more than just hang out at the clubs. And me and Joe talk about this all the time. We're older. We're out of that kind of loop, so to speak. But again, like, fortunately, the life I live, I'm not dependent like all these other idiots are on the city. So I get to look and laugh at the people, anyone that thought they were going to get free buses, anyone that thinks moron Zamboni, as many people call him, was anything other than just an opportunistic anti-Semitic grifter. They're getting everything they deserve. And I'm sorry that it's fun to watch. So to answer your question, I could leave, and maybe I will next year. But for now, this is it. It is the Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, I
ain't
love
leaving.
that.
I ain't leaving. Let's watch it burn from the front friggin' row. And shout out to you, Mark, because I'll tell you, as much as the left is insane, oh, what's he doing in Texas? They're taking everyone's rights. I was at my brother-in-law got married. I was at a gay wedding in Texas. How could that be? How could that be? Because they're taking everyone. They're not. But they are. I don't know if you know this. Hakeem Jeffries called it. ICE is in the airports to murder Americans. And people believe it. Are you insane?
Only half of the people believe it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe those people won't show up. Maybe those people won't show up to the airport, and then the lines will be shorter.
Exactly. And we will be back in 3 minutes on Red, Right, and True. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just 2 entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single Justice for All with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round 2. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see.
And go.
Welcome back to the America First Warehouse. We're here today with Mark White, Gino, and Joe and Bonnie and myself, the Patriot Box. You know, one of the things, I try not to listen to the news. You have to at times. And the legacy media, not to name names, but like the Clinton News Network, CNN, they are basically reporting on Iran's propaganda. As far as they take their propaganda and they believe that, and yet they'll question the President of the United States. Now, I don't know if that troubles any of you people, but it sure does trouble me that they would rather, they don't question a terrorist nation. They don't question a country that recently killed 35 million of its own people. They don't question a country that for 60 years has been the hub of terrorism for the world, but yeah, Trump derangement syndrome, we don't know if we believe in what Donald Trump is saying about the war. That's all I have to say.
Well, go ahead, Jeff.
Oh yeah. Basically, that's the way they roll on that, because they figure you can get ratings on that, because that's been the bread and butter. And once I said basically the politicians depend on the media. The media depends on politicians, and a lot of people on these shows have a book to sell. So it's politics and a book, and that's the way they roll. Now, Gino, you were mentioning something. We're going to go back to the city of New York and how they're fleecing us. Tell that story about the ticket that you got.
Okay, basically, I'll backtrack one step because no one said it better than, I watch a lot of CNN clips now.
Yeah.
And because between Mr. Wonderful and Scott Jennings, when he just hits them in the face with logic and shatters their brain, it's irreplaceable. And Mr. Wonderful said it perfectly. It's like, you have an $8 billion budget deficit. You need to start firing people that aren't doing their jobs. But rather than do that, they're going to bleed the middle class. They're finding ways to give us tickets. I've lived here 9 years. 1 block over and up from my house is 116th, and it's a school zone, I guess. I got a ticket in the mail just 2 days ago for doing 37 inner 25, which I'm sure I was. But I'm also sure that's not the first time in 9 years this has happened. And this isn't a lazy cop. It's a camera. They are trying to bleed us. And I don't care because, again, I have a little car, gets great gas mileage. And every time I pay an extra $1 because gas is up $1 for now. Because the only place where this is a forever war is in Iran, where every day what's left of their leadership wakes up and says, this is seemingly going on forever. But every dollar I pay is another clitoris for an Iranian woman and another liberating day for people in Cuba, because their power grid went down for the 3rd time. Didn't mean to bring up your prom, Bonnie. Went down for the 3rd time this month.
I actually never went to prom.
They can bleed us all they want, but it is fun watching them be like, well, I'll get some more money. No, you're doing a terrible job, and they will never be able to get around all the stupid jobs they have in this system. And it's going to blow up in their faces as more and more people leave. And I'll say it again, Kathy Hochul begging people to come back, that's the best porn of the month. That is the best porn of the month.
Absolutely.
And it's very interesting. The MTA Review Board, everybody rolls, and this is under every administration. Everybody rolls over and plays dead with a tax, with a toll hike. Has one politician ever stepped up and said, we need to, the expression, to doge them, to go in and find out why, though? Because we just keep throwing the money. A lot of it's on legacy costs, on deals that they made on pensions and so on and so forth. But they never once stopped and said, no politician has ever said, we're not going to give them a dime, or we're going to tell the MTA Review Board, not one more dime till you come back to us and see where the money's going. They don't do it. And what the problem is a lot of times when they do have the toll increase, they interview New York, well, you got to get to work. And the reason they get away with it is morons like that are just content to pay more money.
I have to interrupt you and just say this is something I love. The Verrazano Bridge, it opened in 1964. The toll was 25 cents, all right? And it was a temporary toll just until the bridge is paid for. Now, if you want to cross that bridge, it's going to cost you about $10 in each direction.
$10, yeah.
So I just want to know, when is that temporary toll going to end? I just would love to know when they're going to pay for that bridge.
And we're going to put up Asset 3 now, and we're going to talk about that. So here comes asset 3.
As a former liberal, I understand why these people are so demented and just fucked in the head. I remember when I got all of my political views from like TikTok and whatever was like trending. I drew the line at posting a black square on Instagram. I was liberal as fuck, but I just thought that was the stupidest thing ever. But besides the fact, like, I understand why they're driven by emotion. They're 100,000% driven by emotion. Zero logic, zero contextual clues about anything that happens in the world. Yeah, that used to be me. Thank God he saved me.
I love that. And you know how you know she's not a liberal anymore is she doesn't have blue hair. She's got normal looking hair. What is it with all of the white liberal women that they all have the same haircut? Like it looks like Moe from the Three Stooges, and some of them color it blue. I mean, you know, so thank God she saw, you know, she saw how ridiculous it was and came out the other side. But that's very rare, I think. I think that a lot of these people are in this mindset. I have given up on them. Like Joe has pages and pages of facts, and he could sit down with somebody who is has their mindset as a liberal, and it will not do one thing to change them.
Well, just to add into the story, basically we had an acquaintance of ours who I called out on a story that she posted.
Yes.
She went to complain about the story again and back at me, and I said, if I may retort, and I put all the facts back in. These were facts that were reported. This was also the police department saying, you know what? No, we made a mistake. This person was making this up. This person, who is an extreme liberal of that ilk, wrote back to me and said, enjoy drinking the Kool-Aid. When presented with cold,
She doesn't
hard
care.
facts.
I blocked her. I give Joe kudos because I have no patience with these people. And Mark, I think you're like me. You're not going to put up with that, right?
I'm actually putting up with one right now, actually, but he's I asked him a question, which I ask all liberals. What can Donald Trump do that will make you happy? And no liberal has ever answered it.
That's because
They won't.
They have Trump derangement syndrome, and nothing he can do is ever going to be good or right. If it's Trump, it's bad. And again, this comes down to it's pure emotions. There's logic and reason and facts do not affect these libtards because it's all about their emotions. And I used to study many years back when I studied bass back in the day. My instructor, he said to me, he used to always say this expression, you cannot argue with a 3-year-old. And trying to argue with the Democrats and the libtards and the far left is like trying to argue with a 3-year-old. It's a waste of time.
And another thing that I noticed that they do is from the communist playbook, whatever it is that they're doing, they accuse you of doing. They do it to Trump all the time. They had their hand in China, so they would accuse Trump of being in China. Anything that they were doing, they accuse you of it. And they keep doing it over and over and again. It's the lie that just continues and continues and continues. And then these people believe it.
Right. Mark, I need you to do me a favor. You had the analogy, and I want Gina to hear this, and I want people that are joining us who, if they're recently, your analogy of why these women are so disenfranchised, starting with the Hillary Clinton election. Your dissertation was something I never heard any other pundit said, and it's spot on.
Oh, well, we all know that's what it was. Basically, Hillary Clinton had a glass ceiling. Remember the glass ceiling with the balloons and all the other stuff?
Oh, yeah.
And they were all expecting that to go. And also on top of that, remember, they were being lied to. But because you're a liberal, you don't understand that the media is lying to you. So they actually believed that she was 98% chance winning and Trump was only 2% chance. They believed it. But when he won and took that whole first woman president thing away from them, they have never gotten over it. And then when Kamala shows up, which was a mistake by the Democrats, by the way, when Kamala shows up, it made it even worse. So the derangement system we have is just basically women totally upset that they're not going to see their first woman president, most likely in their lifetime.
Well, that's because of their bad choices of who they picked as to run against Trump. That's their fault.
Yeah, and it's so spot on. Gino, I've been on your show many a times. We have you tonight. We basically do, political commentary. That is so spot on. I never heard that view before, and it's spot on. It's amazing why they're like this. Go into the No King. They're going to have more of them. They're putting together another No Kings March again.
Oh no, are they going to wear pink pussy hats this time? Again?
Well, I would even argue, I would agree with it 1,000%. And I would say it reminds me of the everyone gets a trophy. And the more you just say, well, it's okay because you're a girl. And I've said this, the last election, they should have had people stand outside the ballots, like for the people that didn't, cheat and just say, hey, who'd you vote for? And if they said Kamala, and you said, why? And they said, because she's a woman, because she's black, then you'd be like, well, you can't vote anymore. And the same thing, if someone said, why did you vote for Donald Trump? Who'd you vote for? Donald Trump, why? Because Kamala's a woman and she's black, then you can't vote anymore. But the thing is, no one who voted for Trump would have said that. They would have said, well, I voted for lower gas prices and I voted, because he says he's going to attack all this stuff that promises he's made and promises he's kept. If you said, well, why'd you vote for Kamala? All they could say is she's black, she's a woman, or, well, Trump's a jerk. And these are people that should not be allowed to vote. Well, and to add one more thing, it's not the blue hair that gets me. It's the ring through their nose. Oh, yeah. What the fuck is that?
Gino,
it's disgusting.
I have a question.
Stop it. It's how you're led around by the left idiots. Stop
Gino,
it.
I have a question for you. I love that idea of asking them after they voted, ask them why. But do you think on the third or fourth time that they vote, they'd start to figure out what the right answer is?
No, they don't.
They wouldn't. And you know that because whatever they're told, they believe. And when you ask someone, look, some prices of groceries are still up. What? Because it's like I used to do this show as a comedian. Like if I was doing a spot on a weeknight and the crowd was weird, sometimes I'd just piss them off, and then I'd get off stage and bring up those to say, now clean it up. Like the Godfather. That's it. It's like, well, you didn't bring all the prices down.
We'll be right back, Gino. Hold that thought.
Gino, hold that thought. We'll be right back.
The half of your mess he hasn't cleaned up yet.
We'll be right back.
Have you noticed your money just doesn't stretch like it used to? Your paycheck feels lighter and your savings aren't growing. The culprits? Inflation and increased money supply. They've both been quietly eating away at your purchasing power for years. Today, the dollar's value has dropped significantly. You feel it every time you spend money on goods and services. Back in 1965, $1 or an ounce of silver could buy you a gallon of milk. Fast forward to today. That same dollar barely buys a couple of coffee creamers, while an ounce of silver would get you 8 gallons of milk. Gold and silver have held their value for centuries. If you had 2,500 ounces of silver back in 1965, you could buy a brand new Ford Mustang. Today, 2,500 ounces of silver would buy you 2 Mustangs. Similarly, in the year 2000, 628 ounces of gold would buy a new $170,000 home. Today, 628 ounces would buy you a $2,500,000 home. The problem? 95% of Americans don't own physical gold or silver. They think it's too complicated and too expensive, but it doesn't have to be. We offer a membership program that allows you to buy gold or silver with as little as $1. You can buy fractional amounts, safely vault them, or have them delivered to your doorstep, and you can liquidate them whenever you want at the highest buyback price in the industry. Ready to protect your wealth and keep your purchasing power? Scan the QR code or go to tafw.soundmoney.com to learn more.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won, it's not about what party, it's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
And welcome back to Red, Right, and True. Gino was on a roll, and we were going to go back to Gino, but we had to bring up Mandami and what he is doing, and we're going to go to Joe Curry for that.
Yes, basically, Mandami's got a couple of things up his sleeve, and what he's doing, one of the things he might be cutting back on the police. And he's looking to do that. Basically, he is a proposed budget that cancels the hiring of with everything going on in the city with crime. He has got a proposed budget that cancels the hiring of 5,000 NYPD officers, implementing cutting to the department budgets, addressing the $7 billion deficit, the deficit that basically they did, making themselves a sanctuary city. They're trying to pick up the tab of that.
Well, that's scary in itself, because when he was elected, all the policemen who could retired right after he signed office.
They're still doing it.
And they're still doing it. So the fact that he's on top of that going to take away more money from the police budget is a scary, scary thought.
Bottom line is people who say defund the police. Why on earth would you want to defund the police? Who do you call when you dial 911? Who wants more crime? There's no one in their right mind who says, I want more crime. I want less services. I want less help. And it's just, again, this is Trump derangement syndrome at its finest.
Yes, and one of the things he wants to do, basically, like I say, he's canceling the next 5 classes at the police academy, which was holding a plan by Eric Adams that wanted to boost the force to 40,000 instead of capping it at 35,000. To say what you want about Eric Adams, basically he was a former police officer and he was for the police, so he wanted to try to make the city safer. Now, what they're worried about with this going on, this is being proposed, but what they're concerned about is an exodus of law enforcement leaving. Guys that are ready to retire. Cops are going to say, you know what, I'm done. And they're going to retire. Sergeants, detectives, they're going to retire. Bringing in cops that are getting offers from South Carolina, Texas, better places to go that are getting a better deal. And basically, he wants to introduce, I love this, he wants to bring social workers in to handle situations. And what are you going to do? It's like, you know, they're going to bring the social worker in and they're going to go, he killed 5 people. He's got a gun. You got a couch. Get in there. You know, it's like, it's just ridiculous.
His ideas are dangerous. And, you know, I'm on the outskirts. I live on Long Island, and I love my police force. I feel very safe there. I mean, things happen everywhere, but it's like he's on purpose. He is sabotaging the city. Now, why would you want to do that? If you want to prove that socialism or communism, whatever it is that he's trying to push, works, what is his logic in that? Gino, since you live there, are you worried about the fact that there's going to be less police officers? If you have to call 911, obviously you're going to wait longer?
I'm not worried, because it's like any other city. If you know how to handle yourself, you're fine. But to answer your question, they don't care about us. They want us to stay indoors and be controlled, which is at the same time they're proposing lowering the police force. I'm sure you've heard this. They're thinking of passing the Dark Skies Protection Act, which will make you turn off your lights outdoor lights by 11 p.m. So what's
Oh
better
my
than
God.
not having more blue, having more black outside? And by that, I mean the darkness, although you could take that two ways. And I'm telling you right now, they don't care because, thank you for getting that, Mark. They don't care. No, thank you for getting that, White guy. Oh, Mark White. My point is, not only do they not care about your safety, they want you to stay indoors, so you'll have to stay safe. And what they'll do is if they find your light on, they can fine you, just like we were talking about earlier, anywhere up to $500, just like they ticket your car for no good reason or give you a camera and it's impersonal. Be like, oh, these guys are asleep, and they'll wake up to a letter in their mailbox or a $500 fine because God forbid they get rid of all the departments for the LGBTQ, DEI, and every FUCKINGDEPT that they have right now. It's insane.
Oh my God, is that really true that they're going?
Yes.
They want the lights
Yes.
down at 11
Yes.
o'clock. The city
Because
that
of
never
light
sleeps.
pollution.
They want to put
the
to
city
sleep.
that never sleeps.
They want to
he wants-
tuck in.
He wants to tuck them in and put them to sleep.
Yep.
That is insane. So that means like all the beautiful lights in Times Square.
At
they're
11
gonna
o'clock,
They're going to
that's it,
shut
baby.
everything down. Isn't that bad for business? Isn't that bad for safety? Isn't
Well,
that
no,
bad?
I don't think it's the Times Square. I'm looking at it right now, and the article. You can imagine. New York want to propose a law to make it easier to see stars at night and combat light pollutions and keep neighborhoods darker at night. They say Assemblyman Deborah Click is one of the sponsors of the bill. You could read all about it, but they just want to listen to how dumb the people who lead it up. It would protect birds, lower energy costs, and improve sleep for New Yorkers living under light-polluted skies. Does anyone
That's
here, including you,
insane.
Mark, who lived in New York, did you ever have trouble sleeping at night because you didn't have
Our country is causing Cuba's problems. Like Cuba didn't have problems before Trump was even around. The whole thing is insane. And Mark White, you picked that video. What is your opinion on all that?
Well, while I'm practicing the bass, I like to watch people walk around in different countries because you can watch that on YouTube. And I happened to pick Cuba like a few years ago. And I couldn't believe how terrible it looks. I mean, it looks really bad. Like there's some parts that just look terrible. And then when you go out of the main part, it looks, it's beautiful, whatever. But like, these people don't understand that communism does not work, and you're never going to get it to work. And we have examples of it not working. So I don't understand why liberals just cannot wake up. It's just there's something wrong with these people.
I mean, they're getting on a plane to go there. If they actually went into where the actual people live,
Bonnie,
they could.
The government invited them. Their government, the Cuban government invited them, paid for everything. That's why they don't know what's going on.
So they're purposely misguiding them.
Yeah.
Listen, liberals are stupid on purpose. They're not stupid people. They're just stupid on purpose. Because if they actually woke up, then they would have to become a conservative.
Now, the fact that Cuba right now probably only has electrical power on their grid for about 3 or 4 hours a day, how's that shutting down the lights at 11 o'clock working? Could we use that as a working example?
That is true.
But basically, since 2021, they've been having the largest in Cuba. The citizens of Cuba have had the largest protest in 60 years, with chanting for freedom and liberty. The economic despair, with blackouts, lack of basic necessity, the exodus leaving them, escaping there is up 20%, and the government is cracking down on them. The Human Rights Watch, say that 3 times fast, they've been using a brutal systematic repression to silence the dissent.
It's like Iran.
Yeah.
Like all those people that are being brave and trying to speak
And
out.
yet the elitists and the people at the top, they're not suffering at all. They have whatever they need and whatever they
They're
want.
living like kings, the people at the top. And it's basically everybody who that loves communism. It's like the royal people, and then everyone at the bottom, and there's no middle class. And Gino hit the nail on the head. They want to get rid of the middle class because that's what makes capitalism work. Is that you have the freedom to go and do something to change your level. You're not always going to be at the top or the bottom, it's what you put into it. If you work really
But if
hard.
you get rid of the liberal class, what do you have left? That's the part I'm confused about.
I love that. That's a great. Now, I want to thank Mark White for coming in. Gino,
Wait, but you're not going to answer it?
Say that again?
Nobody's going to answer my question?
Well, if they get rid of the middle class, then all they have are the people, the freeloaders that love being governed and love giving power to the elites and then they'll just keep hoping for benefits, and they'll get less and less and be more and more grateful for it. And the smart people will leave because they know the only system that works that will ever progress mankind is capitalism. So that's what will happen. And again, people like, people that are foolproof from this way of life, people that somehow sustain themselves just by doing what they love, the more you do something, the better you get at. The more you love something, the more you do it. The more you do something, the better you get at it. The better you get at something, the more you can get paid for it. And when you're getting paid to do what you love, you are recession-proof. And the fucking elites will never understand that because they're fucking evil. I'm going to use the word demonic, which I'm starting to believe is a thing more and more these days. And they'll never fucking get it.
Gino, I have to cut you off because we got to pay the bills here. Joe?
Yeah, Gino,
where are you going to be really quick?
Tell us your plugs.
Oh, I'm on this network every day every Wednesday before you guys with Kevin Downey Jr. On Tuesdays, I'll sometimes do the flagship show, and I have a monthly show at Rodney's, the former Dangerfields. The next one is Easter Sunday, so we, can please the Jews. Get out there.
Great, buddy. Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be at Governor's in Levittown, doing my monthly podcast, which is Recipe for Laughter, and my guest is Tony Landolfi. That's this Sunday at 5 o'clock.
I'm going to be at Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club this Friday and Saturday down in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. 1-877-UNCLE-VIN, or go to UncleVinny'sComedyClub.com. We'd love to thank the America First Warehouse and Venue for having us. We'd also like to thank TFW Sound Money Wallet at TFSoundMoney.com, My Patriot Travel at MyPatriotTravel.com, My Pillow at MyPillow.com, or you could call that for information, 1-800-889-2067. Tallow Honey Gold, Maha Gold, TallowHoneyGold.com. Download the America First Warehouse Media and Television app, available at the App Store, at Google Play, or go to afshows.com. We'd love to thank Bonnie. Why don't you take us out?
We would love to thank Mark White for his video picks. We love them. We'll see Mark next week. Gino, thank you so much for coming on our podcast, Gino Bisconte. And thank you to the America First Warehouse, the greatest venue in the land. And see you next Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. At the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be. America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of hope, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall.